Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hoosier Talks. I'm Indiana Central, and I'm joined with our special guest, Reakwon Jones. How are you doing today?
Great. How y'all doing?
Good.
Great.
Good.
We're joined with, as usual, IU Sports for Life, Hoosier Edits, and Indiana Network. So, going to be a good one today, and let's get started.
Let's do it.
Alrighty.
All right. So first up, what was your favorite moment at Indiana? If it was a play or if it was just a game or
My favorite moment. I would say probably really my favorite moment was when we beat Purdue last year. In the what was it, double overtime, got the bucket, got our eighth win of the season. Made some history there, and then us already as a team, we knew we was like, we're going to Florida. We're going to play a bowl game in Florida. So everybody on the team, majority, a lot of us from Florida, we was hyped, making plans, asking everyone for the ticket. So I say that Purdue game was probably, one of the most exciting games. There were some others like Michigan State, 2016 when they came over and we took the spittoon back, but that Purdue game was different. It was real emotional, real high stakes, and just a good old rivalry game in November.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, biggest rival
Yeah.
in the Big Ten. Means a lot to win that one. Even if one team's really good and one team's really bad, it's still a rivalry. It's still going to mean a lot to the teams playing it.
Most definitely. And, as you get further into that rivalry and you play a few games, you really start to feel that rivalry between Indiana and Purdue. And by the end of my time at Indiana, Purdue, I have no love for Purdue whatsoever. I absolutely want to demolish them every time.
that's
Yeah, so that's always going to be one of my favorite games to play and to win because, oh, man, they talk a lot.
And I remember, just watching that, I was so nervous, and I can't imagine what it was like for you guys.
Man, yeah, it's like I was never nervous. I was more disappointed when I seen that they were starting to come back. I was like, what are we doing? We sitting here, we killing them, we whooping them. We're literally taking everything away from them, all their confidence and everything. But then we let them come back. I'm like, all right, now this is I will not go out my senior year losing to these guys. They're not worthy. I just want to kill them every time we play them. I don't
I
even
love
want
that.
it's the attitude to have against Purdue.
Okay, exactly. But, I do understand it's a rivalry game. And then, they got good players too. It's the Big Ten, like we said. You're going to get a good game or you're going to get a surprise game every week. You don't know what you're going to get.
Agreed. Well, what I kind of touched on this earlier with playing in the Gator Bowl. But how much did that really mean to, you, but even just the team in general about playing in Jacksonville, where a whole bunch of the players are they're from around the area. How is that being able to go back down to your home state for the final game of your Indiana career and just kind of ending it with everyone around you?
Oh, that was huge. That was huge. And again, something that we was extremely excited about. Just the possibility to go down to Florida, that's a big deal. If you're going down to Florida, you're playing in a pretty big bowl game. And there was another step forward, another step in making history and bringing confidence to the organization and to our program, which is carried into this next season. As we can see, we went down to Florida. It didn't turn out how we wanted to, but we did show glimpses of growth and, moving forward with the program. We went down there, we played hard. We made mistakes. We definitely made mistakes that we shouldn't have made and had self-inflicted wounds that costed us the game, But overall, that experience, I think, really instilled a standard into all the guys that are there right now and playing this season. Okay, we're in Florida. This is our first time in Florida in over 10 plus years, So we know that we can do this. We know we can play on an elite level and play in elite bowl games and, go to an elite destination and play against elite opponents. And that instilled confidence in us to kind of be treated like pros, be treated like, an elite group of 5 team. I mean, elite Power 5 team, Big Ten team. Not always scraping that bottom barrel of the Big Ten, but here we go. We're rising up through the ranks, and now we've secured this spot, and now we've secured this confidence to go forward. So, I mean, it was overall it was huge for our program to get that bowl game, win or loss, just because of the confidence and the stature it instills in the players and the coaches too.
Yeah, and obviously with the bowl game, you always are going to get your presence. You're going to get to go to some tourist destinations. What did you and your teammates get to do when you were down in Jacksonville?
Oh, we stayed on this nice little facility. It's about 45 minutes from actual Jacksonville. I can't recall the name right now, but it had pools, spas, little restaurants, the beach, and all types of little different things for us to do. Little shopping centers, little touristy things. If you have never been to Florida, would be really exciting. So we got to do that stuff. They took us on events, like Top Golf, certain banquet halls, kind of just, touristy things, seen the city, did some fun things as a team together. And, they gave us freedom to kind of, hang out with each other and bond. I took it as an opportunity for me, being a senior, to really just bond with a lot of my teammates. It's going to be my last game with y'all, and I love y'all. I want to spend time with y'all. So it was a real good time for everyone on the team just to bond, have fun. We got gifts, like you said, multiple gifts, headphones, speakers, all types of gear and backpacks and stuff. So it was a cool experience. Overall, it was really just a positive, great experience. We got to eat some good old Florida seafood, so you can't go wrong with that.
Who's the best golfer on the team?
You said who's the best golfer?
Yeah.
I know Micah. Micah got a good swing. Luke Shayatovich, that boy real. What's his name? Gary Cooper, walk-on receiver. He's smooth. He's nice. So, I mean, we got a few good golfers on the team. Oh, Thomas Allen, too. Don't forget him.
All right, I'll go to my question now. So when back in high school, you're getting recruited, what was that process like? And who were your top schools before choosing IU? And what ultimately made you choose IU?
I mean, the recruitment process for me, it was good. I would say, I think I finished with about 12 to 15 offers. My top schools that I was deciding between was Indiana, Cal, USF, and FAU. I had previously committed to FAU my junior year, because I had some things going on, and my coach thought it was the best if I committed to a school to kind of secure something. And then, later on, I decided to decommit. Nothing about the program. I loved the coaches, and I loved the step they were going in and everything. But I wanted to go play, Power 5 ball. So ultimately, it was between Cal and Indiana for me. Cal was also, it was a good choice, and I had a official schedule to go out there. But at the end of the day, it was a 5-hour flight. I could have made it work, but when I went up to Indiana, because I went up to Indiana the week before I was supposed to go to Cal, and I just fell in love with everything. My host was Greg Gooch, so I spent a lot of time with Greg Gooch and T-Gray, who ended up being one of some of my closest friends. I still communicate with them now. But, they kind of, took me in, made me feel like a brother, kind of told me the expectations that they had and what they wanted to do. And I just ultimately, I love the campus. I love the layout. I love the opportunity for the education. I just love the opportunity just to be able to come in there and already be, brought in as a brother and already looked at as a part of the team. So I was excited for the people I was going to be able to play with too.
Yeah, for sure. And who were your defensive coordinators over the times that you were there?
My first defensive coordinator my redshirt year was Brian Noor. My second year was who was I? It was Coach Allen. It was Coach Allen my second year. Coach Allen. So I had Brian Noor, Coach Allen, and Coach Kane. So those were my three defensive coordinators. I didn't play in Coach Noor's defense, so really it's more like I had Coach Allen and Coach Kane, which is ultimately the same defense. So I had a lot of time to learn that defense.
Did you not have Coach Inge?
Oh, Coach Inge was the linebackers coach, yes. Yeah, Coach Inge. He was my linebackers coach for my 3 years. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, he was the linebackers coach. So, I had Coach Inge. And, we have a pretty good relationship too. He was a good guy. He was actually my recruiter. So him and Coach Noah Joseph were my recruiter. So I interacted with them a lot, talked on the phone with them a lot. So our relationship was pretty good. So
Yeah, they're a really good family. I knew them when I was in Bloomington. I'm happy they're out in Fresno State. He's the DC out there, so
oh
he's
yeah,
doing good so far out there.
yeah, as expected. So I got confidence in him and Coach DeBoer over there at Fresno State. I think they're gonna do that program a lot of justice.
Hmm.
Who brought you in
Well,
as your group? Was it like the linebackers or was it just the whole team? I know you talked about Tigre there, but
You say that at the beginning one more time.
who like was some of your closest people that brought you in whenever you first came to IU? Was it like Tigre or was it just the whole team
Um,
in general?
Well, yeah, I mean, Tigre definitely played a big part. The linebacker room definitely played a big part. But it was also people in my class like Jonathan Crawford, Mike Majette, Donovan Hale, Tyler Green, Brandon Wilson. I can name Andre Brown. Like, those guys. We also had cultivated a really good relationship, and we were there for each other. So we developed a good relationship, and kind of it made me feel like I had a connection to where I didn't want to leave them and they didn't want to leave. We didn't want to leave each other. We were there for each other and had each other's backs, through it all. But yeah, the lot as the older players, as such as like Dawson Fletcher, T. Scales, Chris Covington, Zeke Walker. I'm trying to think, Nate Sudfeld. Darius Lathan. Those are dudes that they was always when I came in as an 18-year-old freshman. They was right there, embracing me. Picking me up, there for me, Noel Padmore, Rashard Fant. I can go, the list goes on. It was just a whole bunch of great guys. Great guys, were more worried about the friendship and the brotherhood of it rather than the performance base, which is very important, but also that kinship and that familyship is extremely important when you're talking about building a team. So they all, took me in and embraced me and, have fun. We had fun together outside and inside of that facilities.
yeah, with that kind of being a family, what does LEO mean to you? And just kind of what does that philosophy really mean to you?
Leo, that for me, that's something that that's not only for football. That's something that you carry throughout life. Ultimately, Leo, love each other. You treat somebody how you want to be treated. That's the golden rule of life. You never go and treat nobody indifferent to you because of what they may look like, what they may believe in, or what they may dress like, etc. You love each other for the pure soul and the pure heart in each other, and you do things not to only benefit yourself, but to benefit the person beside you. And when you realize how much you can benefit the people beside you, you realize how far that you as a team can go together versus, going alone. You can only go so far by yourself. But with the strength of so many people, a multitude of people behind you and beside you and in front of you, the depths you can go is, it's unlimited. So love each other is ultimately, if you want to go far, you got to go together. You got to love each other while doing it. There's no such thing as fake love when it comes to LEO. You love each other truly for who you are, and you embrace that person in negativity or in positivity, whether they're down or they're up. Bad player, good player. You always embracing them and letting them know, they can be better, they can do better, and they can go further.
Yeah, and
Well said.
with that, how do you think that LEO philosophy? I mean, obviously, there's been highs and lows of your career. How do you think that was different in the locker room after the Nebraska game when you clinched your bowl berth, and how do you think it was different after your after the Gator Bowl? How is that LEO philosophy kind of how does that show difference between those two?
Well, LEO, it was introduced to us within the organization. But in order for LEO to work, it has to be initiated outside of the facility. And so it really starts, in the classroom with your teammates. It starts in the dorms, in the apartments, in the houses with your teammates, developing a friendship beyond the sport. Get to really know each other and develop that relationship and that connection that brings you closer off the field, that makes you want to fight harder for that person on the field. And like you said, you know, how has it made it? How has it affected us? You know, so starting these relationships outside the field, you know, outside of the facility, we come into the locker room. We're so familiar with each other. We laughing, we're joking, you know, we're dancing, we're doing all types of, you know, different things, you know, just embracing each other, having fun, laughing and smiling together. And once you take that, and once you take something like that, you know, you're in the locker room, you can listen to any type of music and have fun with your teammates from any type of place. You know, you take that together, it just makes it so much easier and such a smoother transition when you go to the field. Hey, you know, check, this, that. You know, you trust that person beside you to know that this person has been studying their plays and that they're committed to where we're going and where we want to go, and they have the same mindset as you and believe in the same things as you, as far as this program and what you want to do while you're at this great university. And so that's kind of how LEO affected us. It was introduced to us in the facility. We took it outside the facility, you know, cultivated it, you know, planted it, you know, got it going, it grew. And then ultimately, just naturally, it came onto the field. As our relationships got better, our relationship on the field got better. And then our relationships with our coaches got better. And, you know, we're able to have this dialogue, create a dialogue where we can ask questions and get answers and, you know, understand the answer rather than just getting an answer or being told what to do. We understand things and we talk things out, you know, and that was not just with the players. It was also with the coaches. You know, they were more willing to talk things out so that every player could get a better understanding, and every player would go to an older player and try to get an even better understanding. So, you know, that's what LEO did. LEO just brought that we're hungry. We want to win, and we want to win together, and we want to change things and do things together.
As we stand right now, a 3-0 team, what excites you most about this team?
I mean, what excites me, just the opportunity for how legendary the season can be and continue to be. You know, I was just talking with, you know, my parents and some of my other former teammates. You know, every year we make history. Every year we're progressing forward. There's something new. Indiana did this, Indiana did that. And for this year, I just look at that as this is another chance for us to show everybody in the world what has been cultivating in Indiana, not just this past summer, but for 5, maybe 2, 3 years before I even got there. And, you know, these things like this take time. And I'm really just excited for them to see what Coach Allen and what these players have brought to Indiana that was missing in a sense for a while before some of us have got there. So I'm just excited for all the opportunity, you know, so many more big wins to come and just a historic season to come within the Big Ten alone. So I'm just excited for the opportunity for the team. And I love these boys. You know, they're still my teammates. I talk to them often and I encourage them often. I still feel like I'm out there with them every time I watch them. So I just, you know, I'm just ready to see them take another step and keep doing big things.
And obviously, with some of your former teammates, such as Marcelino Ball and Raheem Lane being out with injury this year, who are some of the players that you think stepped up, and who are the players that filled your expectation and taking the next leap onto into their career?
I think Jamar Johnson, he definitely stepped up. I've always known Jamar was one of the most talented, you know, players that we had, and I was just waiting for him to put it together, and I knew that he could. So I'm really excited that he stepped up. Mike Penix looks good. You know, he looks bigger. He looks healthy. He looks strong. You know, as expected, I've been telling my family, you know, since Mike Penix got there, you know, this is the guy. This is the dude Indiana's been waiting for. This is him. And so it's good to see him kind of stepping into that role. And it might not always be pretty, but the thing I love about Mike Penix is Mike Penix will find a way to win and find a way to encourage his team. He doesn't get frantic. He stays poised. And that's another thing I love about Mike Penix. And you know, it's so many players I could say. You know, I'm beyond proud of Micah and Micah McFadden and just the whole linebacker core as a whole. You know, Micah just had his involvement as a leader. He's just been evolving year after year after year and getting better year after year. And he's going to continue to get better. And by the time he leaves Indiana, he's going to be one of the best linebackers to have come out of Indiana and one of the best linebackers going into the draft. And that goes for Cam Jones and James Miller and, you know, all the players that's coming behind them. You know, there's so many great players. I'm proud of Taiwan. Taiwan definitely is one who has stepped up and has filled the void with some of that pass rush. You know, what's he have, about 4 or 5 sacks this year? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's
huge.
big.
That's huge as a corner, and he's also out there covering guy. And the corners, all the corners, Reese, Jalen Williams, Antoine, they look great, and I'm proud of Fitz for also coming in and filling in at that Husky spot. Knowing that he played a lot of free safety over these past few years, and coming in and doing a good job and holding it down. And I expect some big plays coming out of him too in these next few weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously with COVID and all this, Indiana hasn't been able to have fans. How different do you think the season would have been if there were able to be some fans at the games? Do you think the Penn State game might have been a bigger win for Indiana, like a larger margin or stuff like that?
I'm not even 100% sure. I would say with us not having fans, it kind of makes us have to feed off our own energy, which is something that Indiana we've been needing to work on regardless the past few years. Even if we don't have fan support or the fan support's not how we want it, we need to be able to feed off our own energy and win big games because of the effort and the work that we put in, and not just because someone's cheering for us. So it's kind of, I look at it also too in a positive light. There might not have been fans there, but Indiana just learned how to win without any fan support or anything like that. So when we do have fan support, I do expect these margins to get bigger and bigger. And this also, gives the fans a chance to watch us from afar and, see us win these big games. And then, they can also start to develop that trust in us. And, and we can cultivate a great relationship between the fans and the team, and we can really start to feed off each other. And I think that going forward, once these COVID rules are lifted and stuff like that, going forward, I think it's going to be a real positive scene between the fans and the football team at Indiana.
And if in a non-COVID year, the celebration on the field after that Penn State win would have been nuts. Those goalposts would have been torn down.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been crazy.
Just like Michigan State 2016. It would have been party out on the field.
Yep, I was on the field after that win.
I was on the field as well. My buddies, I don't know if you know Coach Johns, Logan and Tyler Johns, his sons were some of my best friends in Indiana. He was the offensive coordinator there.
Yeah,
I went onto the field after that game, and I went to give Mitchell Page a high five, and I wasn't allowed into the locker room, and it was by the Hoosier 100 room, and I gave him a high five, and he dragged me into the locker room. So I ended up getting to see the spittoon. It was a crazy win, and it was a good experience overall for Indiana, and kind of just shows the progression of where we've came from over the past couple of years.
Did you spit in a spittoon?
I took a picture of it. I don't remember if I did, but
Yeah.
I know I have a picture of it.
Okay, yeah, no, that's what's up. Yeah, that was a great win. Yeah, that was, like I said, that was a lot of fun. Most definitely.
So you were on the team back when we had all the different helmets, and we would have a different one every game. And now we've transitioned away from that. We don't really do that anymore. But what was your favorite out of all the helmets we used to have?
I would say I love the white helmet. I love the white helmet. Whatever decal almost. I like the Indiana script decal a lot, but I like the candy stripes for the looks. The comfortability, I wouldn't say it was the best, but for the looks, I was actually just looking at a picture from 2016 or 2017 when we was wearing the candy stripes with the all red, and I was like, dang, that looked good. So I would say probably the candy stripe chrome ones for the looks for sure. But the white
they weren't as comfy?
Nah, they weren't. Not to me.
Really?
I like the white helmets. A lot of my friends like the white helmets too. I like the white helmets a lot. Honestly, I didn't have a problem though with the helmets that we wore last year. I like those too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the white ones were very sharp. They touched our uniform well.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. That's my thing. The white, you could wear that home, away, no matter what. It's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I like the white helmets a lot.
If you had to point out one specific thing about Tom Allen that you liked most about him, what would that be?
I would say his conviction, probably. His strong belief in whatever he's doing. He's had a very strong belief that he's going he's gonna get it done, and he's gonna get it done the way that he sees it done. So, like, you know, he said, "Hey, we're gonna be a winning football program. We're a winning football program." So I think his conviction and his belief in the things that he says is probably one of my favorite things about him. You know, when he says something, I know that he means it deep down, even if sometimes it doesn't come true exactly how it might have came out of his mouth. He's going to try to do everything and try his best to you know, make sure whatever comes from his mouth becomes reality. So I respect that about Coach Allen a lot.
Do you have any funny moments of Coach Allen at practice? I know recently there's something talking about how he jumped onto a loose ball pile and he knocked his tooth out. Do you have any of those stories?
I'm trying to think. We didn't have so many practice they started to blend together, but I remember one time in practice, it was a walk. We had a walkthrough. It was back when you know, we had Ben Bach and you know, a few of them other guys. So we were doing a walkthrough, and Coach Allen was our defensive coordinator. I don't think he was the head. He might have been the head coach. I don't remember for sure. But we're doing a walkthrough, and Ben Bach's in. He messes up, and then they get him out of him, send him back. Coach Allen got the megaphone. He walking. He says, "I should kick you in the groin, Ben Bach. I should kick you in the groin." Like, you know, talking about like he should kick him in the balls, but he called it a groin. And boy, I tell you, me and my boys, we were so weak when we heard that. That was one of the funniest things I ever. I was like, why he ain't just say kick him in the balls? Like, why the groin? Like, why the groin? That was fun. That just killed me. But yeah, Coach Allen, character.
Did you see the cut he has on his face from the tackle?
I haven't seen it.
He tackled Devon Matthews after he got an interception.
Yeah.
And he hit his face on his helmet. And in the media press conference afterwards, he had a huge cut on his face while he was answering questions.
Sound like Coach Allen. I'm not surprised. He don't care either, so let's let him ride. I'm surprised he should do the little Band-Aid right there, but no, that sounds like Coach Allen. He don't care. I'm telling you, his conviction and his excitement is radical. Yeah, it's crazy. So no, it's definitely something to be respected about him.
Another good one you can't forget is after Virginia kicking over the trash can.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was another great. Why it's pouring rain. Yeah, I love how he goes and, you know, greet the fans or our student section. You got him over there doing his little 10-inch vertical, slapping hands. You know, I can appreciate the effort. I love it. He's always high energy. Always. I don't even know if he drinks coffee or not, but he always high energy though. So.
Yeah, that game was terrible. I remember tailgating. We were under this one little tent area just with buffaloes and 40-degree angle rain. It was just awful. And of course, I stayed for the whole game, but I was soaked.
Okay, yeah, I feel you. Yeah, that game was wild. I don't even think I was expecting it to rain like that at all. So, but hey, we got it done. So I was happy. I was happy.
Do you like playing in those rain games?
You said what?
Do you like playing in those rain games, or?
I mean, do I like it? I mean, they could be fun. I mean, I'd rather play when it's, you know, dry, just, you know, safety reasons. But those games could be fun, definitely. You know, you need some a good rain game every now and again so it can get, you know, take the gloves off, you know, take the fingers up and go out there and play some real football. So, no, I can appreciate a good rain game, but I definitely like playing in the dry weather for sure.
Yeah, during that game, me and my family were all like huddled together with a poncho on.
Yeah, that's what because my family actually came to that game too. And they were saying they was all huddled up and, you know, had hand warmers and everything because, you know, we're from Florida. Yep. So anything that's below 60 cold. So yeah, they was up there freezing. So that's hilarious. Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, we talked about Tom Allen's energy. Recently, we saw a video of Wap.
Did you cut out?
Yeah, it cut out.
Yeah.
Here, I can just go to one of my questions right now while we.
Okay.
So, back when Kevin Wilson was the coach, and when he got fired, and the transition from Tom Allen to or from Kevin Wilson to Tom Allen. What was that like as a player, and how long did it really take you to like completely buy into Tom Allen as head coach?
For me personally, I mean, it didn't take me long to buy in with Coach Allen because I was already on that defensive side, and I kind of knew his philosophy and how he did things. So for me, it was a smooth transition. Now I know for the offense, it was more of a transition because they're going we go against this guy every day, to help us get better. But now they got to see him get more involved on the offensive side as a head coach and stuff like that. So for me, it wasn't nothing too crazy. For me, it was pretty easy. Okay, I was like, okay, our defensive coordinator is going to be the head coach, so I know we're keeping the same defense. So automatically, I was confident. And I was, it probably took Coach Allen and the offense more time to kind of adjust and kind of, find that common ground and that relation just because he had been on the defensive side for so long and didn't really have any interactions with the offensive side besides practice. So, I mean, that was probably more who had to, kind of get used to that transition more than for us on the defensive side. We was like, our D coordinator, the head coach now, so let's do it. Let's get right. We know what he want to do. We know what he's going to bring to the program. We know which direction he wants to go. So let's do it. So defensively, we was committed to Coach Allen.
Yeah. This is kind of a standard question, but a good one. What was your pregame routine before every game?
Oh, my pregame routine. So before every game, so we start at the hotel. Usually before the game, I don't eat too much. I eat like a little bit. I might eat like a little bit of spaghetti or a little bit of eggs and potatoes, depending on what time we're playing. It just depends. I eat a little bit. I got my headphones on, so I come to the stadium. First thing I do when I get to the stadium is, first at the hotel before we even get on the bus, I've rolled out. I've gotten stretched, and I've done a few other little warm-up things that I like to do on game day. So then afterwards, after we eat, we come to the station. I come back to the training room. I get stretched again. I roll out one more time just to get loose. All this, and then, I always, Chelsea, one of our trainers with Indiana, that's who I always went to for all my, my medical stuff. So, she gave me a little hype talk. We get hyped together real quick. Then I go back and kind of just, I'll be in my own zone, just kind of thinking and stuff like that. I got dressed real slow. I took my time always. I was always taking my time. I never liked being rushed. That's why I always started getting ready at the hotel. But, I mean, other than that, I just gradually, really it just kind of just – really, that was my schedule. When I got there, I go to the training room, get stretched, get taped, and, kind of get, write all my stuff on my wrist and whatever I needed on my arms and stuff like that, see the atmosphere of the locker room. I was more of a in the zone kind of guy. I don't do a lot of dancing and crazy stuff before the game. I kind of like say that for after the game or maybe during the game if I get that hype. But really, I was more of a chill, mellow. I'm ready for war. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if you heard me. I got cut off. I lost connection during my question. I was talking about how Tom Allen's energy. We've seen his. What kind of players on the team when you were there kind of radiated that same energy that maybe Tom Allen couldn't on the field when in the middle of a play? What kind of the players were kind of like a hype man like Tom Allen when you were out there mid play?
Well, like you were saying before you got cut off, WAP, just always he's just a bottle of energy. He's like a 5-hour energy. That's literally what WAP is. So, regardless, WAP, anytime you seen WAP, you'd hear him before you seen him all the time. He always lifted guys up, telling guys, let's go, it's time to go. He's like, okay, embracing people. WAP was good for that. Thomas Allen, really good for that. He's as soon as you come off the field, he running up to you. What you see out there? You good? How's everything? How's their offensive? And we had a lot of other guys too, just like that. I feel like we all kind of had a piece of Coach Allen's energy, but showed it in a different way. Some people was, real enthusiastic, real high energy, couldn't control themselves, jumping around. And then there was other people who was, just as excited, but was able to kind of bring it down to a level to where they wanted to communicate and understand more rather than, get too hype and knock you over. But even from just our sideline, like red shirts or people who are doing scout team, their energy was always so high that, I mean, it's hard to really single out specific people because it was multiple people who kind of kept that energy on the sideline going.
Yeah, for sure. Really just shows the character of Indiana's from the coaching staff to the players and everything like that in between. Just how just aspect maybe the media are new people who are watching Indiana will see them. Kind of speaking of that, say if you were a recruit in this class and you saw Indiana recently ranked 10th in the nation, so you have that aspect of a high ranking.
Mm-hmm.
But how would you feel about Indiana with just their culture and their higher ranking that maybe you didn't really get to see when you were a recruit? How do you think that would have changed your perspective, or maybe how do you think the perspectives of a class of 22 recruit would be watching Indiana?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I committed and signed without the top 10 ranking and without, this new culture of excitement and tenacity. So for me right now, if I'm a recruit, I'm in. I'm buying in just like that. I see how much fun these players are having. I see all the pictures, the videos they post, and all the other stuff that the media outlets for Indiana have started to post. That just make it even more exciting. The new uniforms, the new locker room, the game rooms, the medical, the campus itself. I'm beyond excited. If I was to be a recruit right now versus when I was, I'm going to Indiana, no doubt. I mean, there's no question for me. And I think a lot of good recruits are seeing that. We can see, Tywone Mullen, one of them, he's seen it, and he came and he helped create more change. So I mean, I think going forward, we're going to see a lot more, of these recruits that are, quote unquote, big names in that recruiting class. We're going to see a lot more of that coming towards Indiana, just for this, this research of Indiana and how we kind of handle things from a media outlet, also to on the field and on TV. We showing them the production, the fruits of our labor.
Well, final question for me, I think. Whenever it came draft day, and that whole process, was there any teams that actually reached out to you during or before,
Yeah.
or after?
Yeah, specifically that week, about 2 days prior to the draft, I had actually talked to the Falcons, and they were talking about drafting me late or signing me right after. But I mean, obviously, things fell through, and some things couldn't happen for them, or whatever it may be. So I mean, and there was a few other teams I was in contact with from my, I played in the Tropical Bowl. I talked to a few teams there. I talked to the Chargers, the Browns, and the Colts was in contact with me a nice amount over that whole period. I had a few exchanges with them, but I mean, overall, I talked to a few teams, and it looked pretty good going forward. But ultimately, I think that pro day cancellation kind of hurt and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I can't say that I'm hurting because of what happened or not. I feel good going forward with my life, and I just love watching Indiana football now. It give me more time to watch them, and I'm excited. Things are going well, so I can't complain.
What are you doing nowadays?
Right now, working. I work with Amazon. I do a few things there. I'm learning. I got a good mentor I'm learning from. Going forward, I got a few business ideas that I plan to spring into action probably in the next few months or so, with a few things. So, right now I'm just kind of working on, just learning more, growing, and just, getting my footing out here. I'm trying to build something great for me and my family, you know, and just my friends too, the people that I love. I want to build something that will benefit us and benefit my peoples in a very great way that I can pass down through my kids. So, you know, that's my mindset right now. So I feel good.
Going forward, if the opportunity presents itself, either with potentially the XFL coming back or NFL, maybe starting at maybe a practice squad and working your way up, would you consider taking one of those roles, or what would you think about coming back with football if you had the chance to?
Oh, I would most definitely consider taking one of those roles. You know, I'd look it over closely. You know, I still have my agent, but I look it over closely. You know, talk with the people around me, like my fiance and my family, just to make sure that I'm making the best decision for me and for the people it may affect. You know, so no, it's definitely something that I've thought about, and it's something I would be willing to hop back into, and just depending on the conditions, on the nature and temperature of things at that time. So, yeah, that's something I'm definitely open-minded about.
Because Tigre was able to play in the XFL for a little bit. It got shut down, and just recently he signed to the Buccaneers practice squad. So, just kind of shows you the progression of how something like that would work with the NFL and going pro from Indiana.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Most definitely. Tigre been a role model for me since I got there. So, I still talk with him a lot, and I still get a lot of good advice from him. So he's someone I stay in contact with, especially throughout a process like this. And he was someone who was in contact with me through my whole training process when I was training for Pro Day in Colorado and everything. So, yeah, definitely someone I look up to.
Got to tell him to talk to the coaches about working a deal out with you down in Tampa.
Okay, let's get a 2-for-1. Let's get a 2-for-1 deal out here, man. I'm already done.
Hey, I mean, back in Florida.
Exactly.
I mean, I see it. The connections.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it at all.
I can see it in a couple of years. The Pro Bowl headliner, former Indiana duo at linebacker.
Okay, that'd be too nasty. Ooh. Yeah, that'd be history right
there.
there.
Do you have a favorite NFL team?
Honestly, just.
You said what?
Do you have a favorite NFL team?
Nah, I don't have a favorite. I was a LaDainian Tomlinson fan growing up, so I've always liked players. I do like teams. I like the Chargers. That's the team that I grew up. I liked the Chargers, and I liked like Baltimore. I like those two teams when I was growing up because I like LaDainian, I like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. So it's kind of the same. I like Lamar Jackson, and I like some of the other players on that team. Marlon Humphrey, a few players. So I like the Chargers. I like the Ravens. No particular favorite team though.
When you were younger, did you play any other positions, even if it's in the little league or high school, or did you just play linebacker?
Oh, I didn't play linebacker until like my junior year of high school. So I played quarterback, I played running back, I played receiver, tight end, safety. I played safety mostly was my position in high school. And then I got moved to linebacker, and then I ended up getting recruited as a linebacker. Some schools actually recruited me as a nickel and as a safety. I was coming out of college. I was like 200 pounds, 205. So I actually got recruited to play like safety and nickel at some schools.
Yeah. Do you have if you weren't linebacker or on defense, could you see yourself playing quarterback for a team, dropping dimes down the field?
Man, with the right coaching, most definitely. Because I had some pretty decent quarterback coaching in high school, where I was able to do a few things pretty well, but. No, I would have loved to play quarterback in college. I'd have been running the people over as much as I could.
If you could compare yourself to a quarterback, who would it be?
What?
Who would be your quarterback comparison?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Who's a quarterback that just tucks it and runs somebody over? I'm trying to think.
Michael Vick?
Tyler Nady of the quarterback, I guess.
Yeah, Tyler Nady.
I would have been Tyler Nady, but with a better arm.
The real bacon and legs.
Okay. Yeah. What was it? Yeah, bacon and legs.
Mm-hmm. Him and
That was a
Xander.
fun duo.
That was a good time. That was fun for sure. That was when we wore the chrome helmets too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
played in that year. Yeah. I loved it. That was fun.
Yeah, that little 1-2 duo of Xander and Nady kind of brought a kind of just some swagger to the team with the
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
with how they played. I mean, I saw them on ESPN recently. They were doing something on Conor McGregor and his walk, and after he scored a touchdown, he did the Conor McGregor walk, and they put it on ESPN.
Oh, for real? Yeah. Yeah, man. No, that definitely brought swagger. That was something that was fun. You know, that brought a different type of atmosphere to the team. So I'm glad that Coach Wilson did implement something like that. So
What was it like in practice having to guard that?
guard that. I mean, it is what it is. You know, it wasn't too bad. I mean, they got a few plays here, we got a few plays there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just yeah, it wasn't nothing crazy. And plus, you know, in practice, we ain't trying to kill each other either. So
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't too bad. But it was interesting. It was fun. It was like you don't know who's gonna have the ball, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, does anybody have any more questions?
I got one final one. Right now, what advice would you give to the players in this current team? Like, I know we got some big games coming up. What advice would you give them? Fair.
I would just tell them. I mean, don't think too hard about what you're doing. I would say keep doing what you're doing, and critically, look at yourself on film and ask yourself, did I execute my assignment? Did I do the best that I could every single play that I was in? And if I didn't, that means I got something to work on. It's something I would tell them not to think too much. Just fix what you can fix, and then leave everything else alone. But always keep your mindset strong and know that you are always the best when you step out on that field, no matter what, no matter who the opponent is. Carry yourself as the best, and you're gonna be the best.
Yeah, I mean, closing thoughts similar to that. Indiana's just 2 wins away from, I mean, basically just 1 win away from winning the Big Ten East. They can beat Ohio State. They have the Big Ten East pretty much locked up. So going
Exactly.
to
So,
those players, seeing that's kind of crazy. And that's potentially a playoff spot if you win the Big Ten. So
yeah, no, most definitely, and that's where my eyes are looking right now. You know, I made a post before the season. I said I got Indiana going undefeated. I wasn't playing around. I was dead serious. I've been telling people since January, Indiana going undefeated this year. So I hope these boys just keep proving me right. So
yeah, and what I've seen a lot of like pro Indiana, but I've also seen people who just won't accept Indiana and that they're good now because of their past on maybe not being the best team, maybe being at the bottom of the Big Ten. I've seen people saying that they're overrated, shouldn't be in the top 10, but if you look at their resume and how they've played, they arguably have the best defense in the Big Ten. They have a top running back receiver core, top 5 quarterback in the Big Ten.
yep.
And yeah, I mean, I don't see why anyone would discredit Indiana for how they played, but I've still seen that a
Keep
lot.
sleeping on us.
Hey, I
Yeah.
mean, you can't make everyone happy. So I say, hey, let them say whatever they want to say. Hey, as long as we keep handling business, that's all that matters. We can't control what they think or how they feel, but all we can control how we think and how we feel. And all we can do is continue to support Indiana and support the coach, support the players, and do everything that is pro Indiana. We're not worried about anti Indiana because they're gonna see regardless whenever they team play us or if their team even can play us, if you know what I mean. So I mean, like I said, it's all about Indiana. I just ignore all the other noise.
Yeah, I mean, even with the betting odds, they had Michigan opening it up as 3.5-point favorites, which
Yeah,
I didn't get either because they lost to Michigan State the week before that. So
exactly. So, hey, Indiana gonna be getting hate no matter how good we is for at least a few more years. So
yeah,
it is what it is. Long as, like I said, long as we handling our business and we keep climbing up this ladder, then I'm happy. I ain't worried about what everyone else saying because 9 out of 10 times their team probably not even doing as good as Indiana right now.
Hey, there's only, I mean, if you look on the rankings, there's only 9 other teams better than us.
Exactly. So, hey, the proof is in the pudding. So.
And I mean, if you look at those teams, if you look up there, Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, that's some good company.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So what someone got to say don't really bother me. They can say whatever, but the evidence is right there on the paper and it's right there on the TV. Every time you turn on the TV to Indiana, you're gonna see some great football. So.
I mean, the defense has been playing amazing this year, which I mean, I knew we had a good defense last year, but I'm proud of how we've been able to step up turnover wise. I think we've gotten at least 2 turnovers in each game.
Exactly. Yeah. You got Jay Will. He got an interception every game. So.
Yeah. Michigan before the Indiana-Michigan game, they had thrown 0. They had 0 turnovers, and after the game, they had 2. So
yeah, tell you all you need to know right now. Yeah, and it's the experience too. You know, all these guys they got a year more experience under their belt. So, and just like next year, they're gonna have another year experience under their belt. So it's gonna just continue to get better and better. So this is a golden age for Indiana right now, definitely. And it started.
What guys do you see on? What guys do you see on the roster potentially going pro? Who are some of the guys you think would be able to go pro?
I mean, next year definitely. You got Wap. You got Peyton Hendershot. You got Stevie. Ty Fry. I mean, you got a multitude of guys. I'm trying to think. Ty Fry's a senior. Wap is a senior. Stevie's a junior, but I mean, who knows what's going to happen with that?
Well, I mean, then you got to remember, this year doesn't count eligibility-wise, so they're still a senior next year if they decide to come back.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I think
because of COVID.
I think we got a stable of guys that could go play in the NFL from this team. So.
I mean, and hey, say even if Stevie Scott goes and takes the next step, we got someone right under him in Samson James who's going to step up and be able to do just as well as him. That's kind of the next man up mentality that Indiana's instilled.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, even if a big player leaves, yeah, we have another one right there that's been waiting for his time to shine. So the more players we get in the NFL, the better it is for Indiana. So I mean, yeah, like I said, I think we can have a multitude of players, just depending on how the rest of the season goes and things like that.
Yeah. Well, what's the streak that we have right now? How many years do you know?
Oh, I'm not
in
sure.
a row in the NFL.
I'm sure we got. I mean, it got to be a pretty good streak. I mean, we at least.
I think it's seven drafts in a row. We've had someone drafted.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, let's make it 8.
Okay.
Well, Reakwon, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate your time. And go Hoosiers, LEO.
Yes, sir. LEO, go Hoosiers. Appreciate y'all for having me, man. Y'all be safe.
Yes.
Yep.
You too, man.
Yes, sir. You too.
Have a good night, man.
Y'all too.